So yeah, basically, babes, I'm just here to say that the journey is going to suck and be hard. I don't care how disciplined you are, how consistent you are, how just perfect you are in all the things that you're doing, and I'm so proud of you, I am. But it's gonna be really hard to get from point A to point B, and that is an inevitable part of the journey. You and I have to be able to choose, is this resistance going to keep me where I am, or am I going to use it as a reminder that I'm moving somewhere? Hey sis, welcome back to another episode of the I Am podcast, where we learn more about who we are as we draw closer to the great I Am. I've been noticing over the last few months something that no one really mentions when it comes to your growth journey. And it's something that is so important to recognize, because when you're aware of it and aware of how common it is, it really empowers you to push through those moments with more confidence rather than seeing them as reasons to quit. Because I know in the last few months, I've been seeing them as reasons to quit. And so I really want to share this message with you, because it's so critical to being able to continue pushing forward, to continue to be able to have faith in your journey and the unique path that you are walking on. Remember, your path is not going to be the same as the person to your left or to your right, the person in front of you or behind you. And so it's really important to keep this in mind, and something that we need to talk about more. And that is the fact that when you decide to live differently, walk differently, to expect something more for yourself than the precedent that your environment set for you, than what other people said you would be able to achieve, than what even your own mindset has said you would be able to achieve, you are going to face so much resistance. I think a lot of times, I know we consume a lot of content about how to change your life. We consume a lot of content about how to make the new morning routine, about how to have different mindsets, about how to just operate through the world differently. And we get a lot of practical and helpful advice that we hope will help us to be able to grow towards whatever those goals that we have are. But the reality is that wherever you're starting from, nothing in that environment is actually operating on that same, like, quote unquote wavelength, if that makes sense. Not to say that, like, oh my gosh, everything is a hater, everything is against you, but you have to realize, like, when you're hoping to be at the mountaintop, you're not there yet. Like, you're still on the ground. There's gonna be like rocks that you're gonna have to climb over. The view from where you're looking to where you're going is gonna look really far away. There's going to be people that maybe tried to go up, but they didn't make it. And they'll be sharing their struggles with you, and why you should just stop now, why you should just be grateful for what you have, why you should just, be content with where you are. And it's really important to hold on to and to remember that resistance is not a sign to stop. Resistance is not a sign that you made the wrong decision, and resistance is not a sign that you won't make it. I know for me, I went through two main phases. One where I was feeling really burnt out, and then the second where I was feeling very discouraged because I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted, and started to disqualify myself from the dreams and goals that were given to me. Started to become too comfortable with my environment, starting to think, well, maybe this is all that there is for me, when I know that there is so much more. And I want to remind you that there is so much more. And here's the thing, right? It can be confusing, because most of the time, the reason why you want to step out of where you were before and enter into this new elevated version of yourself is because something about the old place was super uncomfortable, super difficult, was not where you felt safe. Like, something about that space didn't feel safe, don't have peace with it in your spirit. And so as you're shifting into this new space, the thought process would be that you would feel more safe, you would feel more comfortable, you would feel more at peace as you're moving into this new stage. But you have to recognize that that in between is actually going to feel sometimes like you're failing. And the reason why is because the inputs that you're putting out don't work in the environment that you're trying to leave. And so you're putting this stuff out, you're putting this stuff out, you're putting this stuff out, knowing that it will lead to growth. But in the moment, in the environment that you're in, it's going to feel like you're wasting time. It's going to feel like you're literally, what do they say? Beating a dead horse. Whatever that statement is. Like, that is how it's going to feel. And the reason why is because, in a sense, you are beating a dead horse. Because one of the things that's going to happen as you shift into that new stage is that your environment is going to change, whether that's internal or external. Something is going to change, but you need to start acting like you're in that new environment before you're actually there. And so in that phase where you are acting, moving like you're in that new environment, the resistance is going to be crazy. It's going to feel discouraging. It's going to feel like you are wasting your time and like you should just turn around and go back to how things were before. It's gonna feel like how things were before was easier. You might actually start to believe that things were better before. You might start to be tempted to just kind of give up on your journey and to stop progressing forwards because things might not be connecting. They might not be making sense. And one of the biggest hurdles that is gonna come in at this time is fear, because you start to realize that this might not actually work. You start to realize like my goal might not actually be achievable, or maybe I'm not the person who can actually make this happen. And fear can sound really practical and very logical, and a lot of times it is. A lot of times it makes sense. It's like, well, if this isn't working, then what makes you think that you're going to achieve this big dream that you have, this big goal that you have? But this is why you have to hold on to, like I said earlier, the faith in your specific journey. Because let me be real, from skating to my business to my career to content creation, everything that I'm working on right now feels in its infancy stage. It kind of feels like, that beating a dead horse phase. Like I'm working, I'm outputting, I'm doing what I love, but I'm not necessarily seeing what I would expect to see. I'm not fully on the other side of where I want to be. Even internally, like I'm still growing in my confidence. I'm still growing in my ability to like set firm boundaries and how I show up in rooms and being able to like own a room, welcoming to everybody there, being punctual, like y'all, the list goes on and on. Like I am not where I want to be. I'm not where I see myself being at. And so from this place, we have to be able to make the decision. You and I have to be able to choose, is this resistance going to keep me where I am? Or am I going to use it as a reminder that I'm moving somewhere? And y'all, like literally, this is physics. And this just came to my mind, like we're gonna hold on to this together. Let me actually look it up. If you took any like physics class, like whether in high school or college, there is a literal formula for friction. And so it depends on if there's kinetic friction, two objects moving at the same time, or stationary friction where one object is still and the other is moving on it or around it or whatever. For this example, we'll think of static friction. Like you might have been feeling static, whether that is your environment, whether that is your internal world, whatever that may be. The only reason that you will start to feel resistance is because you are moving. And this is something that just like touched me because it feels like you're standing still. Like it can truly feel like you're not going anywhere, like you're not making any progress. And I think this is the part again that like we don't talk about enough, is how much, whatever your goal is, how much you can feel like you're not making any progress. But we don't understand that every little feeling of friction, of disappointment, that you're being held back actually just means that you're moving somewhere. And it feels uncomfortable and it sucks and it hurts, but you're moving in a certain direction that is away from that stagnant place that you once were in. And as I was like brainstorming different like hooks and stuff for this episode, because I'm trying to, get better at my SEO and all of those things, one of the hooks that came up was why everything gets worse before it gets better. And this is the main lie that I kind of want to like, I guess, expose or whatever. Just because everything got worse does not mean that it's about to get better. There is a certain level of grit that you have to be able to learn within yourself. And this is the part where your community and your faith is truly going to come into play. Because it's hard, if not impossible, to continue to go on alone, to continue to motivate yourself alone when you truly feel like you're at the end of your rope, or you truly just feel super burnt out, or like things just aren't working out, or like you just want to throw in the towel. To be able to have people to speak life into you is going to sometimes be that make or break moment that allows you to keep going forward. And so one thing that I will say, whether it is like a Bible study that you have to join at your church, whether you need to call your mom, whether you need to call your best friend from college, like I don't know who, I don't know where, I don't know what, but make sure that you have at least 1 or 2 people whose lives reflect a life that you actually like respect and look up to, who can pour positive life into you, because that is going to be so critical and so crucial as you are going on this journey. And that's going to be really crucial as you're fighting against the fears of like, maybe I should do it next month, maybe I should do it next week, maybe I'm not ready yet, maybe to be able to have people who are able to speak life to you, who are able to give you positive feedback and constructive criticism and help you become better. That is going to help you be able to do things even in the scary moments. Choosing the life you see for yourself is going to take time away from other areas of your life. It's going to require you to be a little bit pickier with what you do, who you hang out with, what you prioritize. And some people aren't going to like that, but I think you have to really understand that like everybody truly has their own life. And like while community is everything, while it's important to pour into other people, and I think that's one of, if not the most important parts of life, we also all get to choose the amount of time and dedication that we spend towards the dreams that have been placed onto our hearts. And there are some people in our lives, there are some people I've seen in my life where they put themselves in situations where they're being pulled a million different directions and they never get to achieve their dreams. Sometimes life just brings about those responsibilities, but if you're in a space where you have the freedom to choose, where you have the time to put towards your goal, where you have the time to say, no, I'm not going out tonight, I need to work on this project, where you have the time to say, you know what, I don't need to be like randomly dating like 10, 15 people right now because I actually have this photography business that I'm really passionate about and that I really want to pour my heart into. Do that, like, you know, really do that. Understanding that you're going to have resistance, going the path less trodden, going the path less taken, turning your life into something completely new, but also having faith that on the other side of it is gonna be so worth it. You're gonna learn things about yourself that you never would have learned otherwise. You're gonna become a whole new person, a whole new woman, honestly. And it's just super beautiful. When you see it from that perspective, it makes the journey more beautiful, because I've had nights, days, weeks where I've just been feeling like, forget it. Like, I'm gonna go back to the person that I used to be. Like, I'm not feeling motivated. I'm not feeling like I'm gonna put my best foot forward, because what does it matter? And not understanding that the friction I was experiencing just meant I was moving in a certain direction. And God forbid I stop moving, you stop moving in the direction of your goals, your dreams, and the things that you know you deserve and that you can experience in this life. So yeah, basically, babes, I'm just here to say that the journey is going to suck and be hard. I don't care how disciplined you are, how consistent you are, how just perfect you are in all the things that you're doing, and I'm so proud of you, I am. But it's gonna be really hard to get from point A to point B, and that is an inevitable part of the journey. And I just wanted to remind you of that like you're doing great, and the fact that you're struggling right now doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. It's just part of the journey, and I think sometimes we need to hear that. And so if you like this video, don't forget to like it, comment, and of course subscribe so we can continue this conversation. Would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and share with a friend if you think that this would be encouraging to them as well. I will see you in the next episode, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.